I tell you what, Kyle and DeMar down the stretch really turned it on. Kyle stuck his nose in there, penetrated, accepted a challenge. I thought they was doing a heck of a job of just putting their head down, driving to the bucket. Came up with some big stops down the stretch, and that was the game. But Kyle's triple-double was huge for us tonight. We needed all of his assists, we needed all of his buckets, and we needed all of his rebounds. So it was a great effort on his part.
Those two guys are really sort of taking ownership of what this team's been doing in the last 3 to 6 weeks or so.
They have. It's their team. I mean, you know, DeMar's been here the longest. He and Amir's, they're the two holdovers, and has a lot to do with what, you know, the direction we're going. But Kyle and DeMar, production-wise, over the last couple of weeks have been huge. And again, we got to have people to step up. I thought Stevie Novak stepped up with his threes tonight in place of Patrick.
We talked about it a little bit before the game. Kyle, kind of his shot has been off, it seems like, the last few games, but seems to contribute in pretty much every area.
He did everything else. I mean, we needed all of his assists. He did a good job of getting in there, penetrating, finding people. We needed all of his rebounds, especially with them, the way they crashed the boards. So he just had an all-around game. But again, I thought our bench, you know, with Grievous coming in, gave us a big lift in the first half. I thought Stevie did a good job of spacing before knocking down shots. I can't say enough about those guys because it's going to take all of us, especially with Patrick being out.
Are you surprised at how many times you were able to get fairly uncontested three-pointers? Was that all because of the penetration?
A lot of it was because of penetration. I think Kyle, you know, once Rubio got in foul trouble, he was reluctant to stick his nose in, and Kyle kind of looked to attack and was kicking out. So, again, you know, Steve Novak he's pretty good at that, and he did a good job we did a good job at night of Kyle did of finding him.
The rebounding differential for you guys in the second half was pretty significant. What was the difference there on the boards in the second half?
Well, attention to detail. I mean, against this team, they were one of the best rebounding teams in the league. I mean, you got two men in Love and Pekovic. So if you relax 1 hour of a second, they're going to come over your back and just annihilate you. And we did a better job of second half. We only gave up, 6 the second half. And that was one of our keys going into the game.
It's a huge bonus of having Chuck being able to guard one guy one-on-one, because you doubled a lot of other times without him in there.
And then Love got a three. How many times have you seen that? The guy you double team pops out and gets a three. But Chuck is, you know, he's one of those guys that's stepping up, giving us that one-on-one defense that we need in the post. He knows how to play. He's a veteran. He's seen everything, so feel very comfortable with him in there. Again, it's a lot of things that JV is still learning. A guy like Pekovic will send you to school, and you know, you take one little lot over a second, you know, small second off, and he's in front of you ducking in, and that's where he was getting JV tonight. And Chuck is a little bit too wild of a vet for that.
It seems like DeMar's been showing a little bit more emotion towards the end of games. Is that something that you like to see?
Well, that's good, but as long as it's controlled. I mean, not against the officials. We got to be controlled, and we've been there before, act like we've been there before. But he's, you know, I love the passion. I think all of our guys are playing with passion. We got to channel it, make sure it's going in the right direction at the other team. But I do like that, and you know, our guys know how important each quarter is, each possession, each game.
It seems instead, like what you're saying, instead of wilting or whatever, things aren't going his way, or when he's getting emotional, DeMar seems to be stepping up lately, and his play's improving. Is that what you're seeing?
And it's a big step in his growth, Ryan. I mean, he's doing a good job of teams getting on. Corey Brewer is doing a heck of a job on him. He's into him, denying him, making him work to catch it. But instead of disappearing, he stepped up, presented himself, got open, V-cutted. I did all the physical things you got to do against pressure defense like that to get open to get the ball and not just hope the ball comes to you. And DeMar is doing a much better job, and Terrence for the most part has been doing a good job, but he gets that secondary guy against him, so DeMar gets the brunt of the pressure.
How much do you think they're taking the lead from Kyle? He hasn't been shooting the ball well, but doing other things, and are they looking at that and saying, look, there's other ways to cook the chicken too?
Yeah, they are doing that. I mean, you know, that's something Kyle's doing. We needed all of his points, his assists, his rebounds tonight, and I thought everybody stepped in. I thought we settled for the jump shot. We got the lead in the first half by making the jump shots, but then we fell in love with it. Instead of penetrating, attacking, and then getting a jump shot, our first pass was a jump shot instead of getting to the weak side, breaking down the defense, then shooting a jump shot or getting to the paint. You know, again, once Rubio got in foul trouble, it was a little bit easier to get into the paint and kick out. And we didn't do a good job of that in the first half once we lost the lead.
6 straight games scoring in double figures for Terrence. Are you starting to see the consistency in his game a little bit more?
Yeah. He's growing. And he was upset with him those last couple of fouls at the end, but again, he's growing. We wanted to go at Kevin Martin tonight, and I thought he went out with that mindset at the beginning of the game. But he's growing. He and JV are growing. They still have a lot to learn. I say it every night, but again, they're growing and going in the right direction.
Does passing last year's win total mean anything?
Beg pardon?
You passed last year's win total with 35 wins. Does that mean anything?
No, because we got a game tomorrow night. I mean, I look at the next game tomorrow night. It's a big game for us, and we're the process, the building, the growing, developing. Until I looked at this, I couldn't even tell you what our record was. So I'm all about the process, and you take care of the process, the wins will take care of themselves.
Thank you.